So let's get started with the extent of the Indus Valley Civilization. By extent, we mean how far were the sites of the Indus Valley Civilization spread out. We're going to look at two distinct classifications here. The Indian extent, where we're going to take into account the Indian international boundary, and the overall extent, where we do not necessarily take into account the international boundaries as such. So let's begin with the Indian extent. To the north, we've got Manda in Kashmir. Moving in clockwise direction, we've got Alamgirpur in UP. To the south again, we've got Daimabad in Maharashtra. To the west, we've got Desalpur in Gujarat. A teeny tiny fact here. Before Desalpur was excavated, we used to consider Sir Kotada as the westernmost site of the Indus Valley Civilization pertaining to the Indian extent. Now moving on to the overall extent. To the north, we've got Saraikala in Pakistan. To the east, again Alamgirpur acts as the easternmost boundary, easternmost site. To the south, Daimabad in Maharashtra. To the west, we've got Sukkagendur in Pakistan. And to the northwest, we've got Shortugai in Afghanistan. So that brings us to the end of the extent of Indus Valley Civilization. We'll now move on to the fourth topic, that is the capital cities. So out of the 2,800 sites that have been excavated so far, why do we consider only these 6 to be our capital cities? We'll have to look at the features of each one of these cities. What have we excavated that we conclude that these 6 happen to be our capital cities? We'll look at each one of them furthermore in our lectures. We'll look at their features, what have we excavated, what all are the things that have made us to conclude that these 6 are our capital cities. As if now, just remember that there are 6 capital cities. The first one happens to be Harappa, excavated on the banks of river Ravi by Dayaram Sahani in 1921. So Harappa covered almost 150 hectares of land. When we come to Mohenjo-Daro, the word Mohenjo-Daro means mound of the dead. It is the largest site so far that we've excavated. It has been excavated on the banks of river Indus by R.D. Banerjee in 1922. Just try to recall the story that we went by in the lecture itself. The third one happens to be Chanandaro on the banks of river Indus by N.G. Majumdar in 1931. 1, 2 and 3 happen to be in present-day Pakistan. The fourth one is Banavali, excavated on the banks of river Saraswati by R.S. Bisht in 1974. Banavali is in Haryana. Kali Bangan. The word Kali Bangan means, if we break down the word, Kali, black, Bangan, bangles. Excavated on the banks of river Ghaggar by Ghosh in 1953. Kali Bangan happens to be in the present day Rajasthan. Coming to Lothal, it's in the present day Gujarat. Excavated on the banks of river Bhogava by R. Rao in 1953. Let's move on.